Hello everyone, welcome to Retro Dad and Modern Lad, the YouTube channel and soon to be website. Today we're going to be reviewing the Saturn Gamers cartridge. So before we get started, I'd like to thank Cafe Alpha, who is the guy behind the Saturn Gamers cartridge and also the pseudo Saturn Kai. If you haven't already, go over to his YouTube channel and subscribe, and also visit his website, links in the description. The man's a genius, and if you are a Sega Saturn fan, you'll love his website and reading all about the Sega Saturn development tools and accessories he's created. I would also like to thank Darius, who works with him. He's the person I bought mine from and he's done a brilliant job making it. So what is a Saturn Gamers cartridge? Well, it's essentially a modified action replay that allows saving to an SD card and the ability to back up saves and also share them. It's also installed with the latest version of pseudo Saturn Kai. Cafe Alpha has done an amazing job on the latest version of pseudo Saturn Kai. Before I got this, I had the old version, which you can see on the left. The new version has improved interface and new features. So a couple of things I want to make clear from the offset is you can't boot games from the SD card. It's for game saves only and some homebrew programs. It's installed with the latest version of pseudo Saturn Kai, so you can play all your backup games, but it doesn't work with 1MB or 4MB RAM games either. New features that my old version of pseudo Saturn didn't have include having cheats that you can use now on the version, and also it has a save data manager, which is really handy for moving things from the system memory to SD card and vice versa. Another great feature of the Saturn Gamers cartridge is the SD card can not only act as a memory cartridge but also the floppy disk drive for the Saturn, which I think is really impressive. One of the big advantages of having this is because it uses SD cards for saving. It's like an extra large memory card and is great for backing up games. Also for games that take up large amounts of memory like Desert 2, which I'm a big fan of. Cafe Alpha also developed the latest version of Desert Save Game Manager 3, which allows you to play homebrew shoot-em-ups made by fans using Desert 2. There's over 100 titles to try and some are excellent. It's like a shoot-em-up fan's dream. You can just scroll the list of games and choose which ones you want, and you can save them to the Saturn cartridge or the floppy disk, because the Saturn Games cartridge acts as both. This allows you to save up to 10 titles, and then you just boot up Desert 2 the game, and you can pick from the RAM or the floppy disk drive and you just pick your game. I'm going to do a more in-depth video about Desert 2 soon, as I am actually trying to build my own shoot 'em up using it, but it is really difficult, so it is going to take a while. But if you're interested at the moment, go over to Cafe Alpha's YouTube channel, and he's got loads of videos showing all the different types of shoot 'em ups you can download and have been made before. The game saves on Desert are too big for the internal Saturn memory, similar to Sega Rally Ghost Cars, but they're no problem for the Saturn Gamers cartridge with its SD storage. It's also great for RPGs, which do tend to have big save files, and to back up your saves, because you don't want to be losing hours worth of gameplay on games like that. Games that facilitate direct saving and loading from a Sega Saturn memory cartridge can be saved and loaded direct from the SD card using the Saturn Gamers cartridge, like Shining Force 3. One thing to note, if there's a long pause and the green light is on the Saturn Gamers cartridge, don't worry, it hasn't crashed, it's just accessing the SD card. This can take longer than saving to the internal Sega Saturn memory or the memory card when you save into an SD card. Perhaps the feature with the most potential is the ability to share your saves with a friend if you both have a Saturn Gamers cartridge, by simply removing the SD card, putting it in your PC or laptop and sending it over. Games like Sega Rally, you can send each other your Ghost Car saves to battle it out against your friends' best track times. This is really fun, and I think the ability to bring people together to play using Sega Saturn Gamers cartridge is excellent and great for the Saturn community. Other ways you can use it is to play games together. This makes being able to complete bigger games more fun, and for example, you could do a level each on Tomb Raider and send the save back and forward to complete it together. Or if you have no health or medipacks and can't do a section because you keep dying no matter what you do, rather than give up, you can send it to a friend who is an expert at Tomb Raider, and they could pick it up from your last save point and have an attempt themselves. Maybe your friend's got better tactics and he realises that you can't just run into this section like a bull in a china shop, and what you really need to do is stop at the top and pick off the wolves, and then you can drop down into a free zone with nothing to kill you. Then when they're done, they just send the save back to you and you can continue playing the game. So let's move over to the scoreboard and summarise the positives and negatives of a Saturn Gamers cartridge and see if I recommend you should get one. The positives of a Saturn Gamers cartridge include you can use SD card for saves, it's got the latest version of pseudo Saturn Kai installed, it plays backups, imports and has cheat feature, it can be used as the FDD for Desert 2, It has a great game save manager system and you can share saves with your friends. The only slight negatives are there's no RAM expansion support for games that use extra RAM, and also saving is slightly slower, although this is to be expected, to be honest with you. When reviewing games I usually give them a score out of 10, but for accessories and add-ons I'm going to rate them using either thumbs up, which means I recommend you get one, thumbs to the side, which means it's good but not for everyone, and thumbs down, which means I wouldn't recommend it. So I award the Saturn Gamers cartridge a thumbs up. I highly recommend it and I'm absolutely delighted with mine. It has really impressed me the way you can save games to the SD card and also the ability to be able to share them saves with your friends. Again, I would like to thank Cafe Alpha and Darius, and links are available in the description. I'd also like to thank Daniel Smith from the excellent Sega Saturn Collectors and Gamers Facebook page, who told me all about the Saturn Gamers cartridge and recommended I get one. If you haven't already, go over and join the Facebook group. You've been listening to Retro Dad and Modern Lad, the YouTube channel and soon to be website. If you like this video, give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We got loads of videos mainly on Sega Saturn and Dreamcast, but also other retro modern computers. Thanks for listening and I'll see you soon. Bye.